Shankaracharyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititolaya Niyadi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibuddha Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Mati Prabhudan Vadan Nirasya Kritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandati Tamunivayam Namami Pujjaya Rahavendraya Satya Dharma Rataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrikshaya Namatam Kamadenive Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends. Request you to mute the mics if some of them are on. See, coming to this week, as we have been embarked upon the Kathopanishad, as we have discussed last week, we have got the one mantra which we have discussed, in briefly, and one more mantra is there. With that, the first part of the second Valli, the 6 mantras, 7 mantras, they make first part of the month, second Valli, where it says how the Nachiketa has sort of exhibited the vairagya required to get the necessary sort of a knowledge to prepare ourselves to get the intuition. Intuition is the one, to just for the purpose of repeating ourselves, because to understand that intuition doesn't come from by body, mind, and intellect. Because without you being aware, it comes. The mystic experience that comes. That mystic experience, how is it possible for us to come? How we can get, for that only we are preparing ourselves to get that intuition. To get that only, he has given all the vairagya, he has not been induced by all other things and all. See, one of the things we will have to understand from the shreyas and prayers, it's not, nothing is bad. Prayers means, because you will have to live in this world, prayers will be there, you will be having desire, depending upon the age, depending upon the interest. Because if you are a little younger age, you will have different interests. As you grow, you are in the senior and super senior, you will have different interests, like we are getting into this Upanishad and talks and all. Maybe 20 years before, we would not have been afforded the time, nor we would have had the inclination, depending upon, at that period of time, whatever we were engaged in, because that is happening, because it happens all over the world. And again, when it happens all over the world, one thing, that is what, all the Upanishad, irrespective of the fact, whatever is being told in everywhere in all the scriptures, they are very clearly pointing out, we can't reject the world in pursuit of the realizing ourselves, to knowing our 99.9% of the potential what we have. We can't reject the world in pursuit of that. As well, we cannot pursue the realization to understand the entire thing by rejecting the world. Neither is possible. That's why the shreyas and prayers will always be there. It will continue to be there. How we are going to get, because basically that is what we are trying to get into and all, because so far what we have seen is how, because we are able to get ourselves off from wherever it pulls us into indulgence. As long as it is an experience, we are able to get the entire sort of we are able to get ourselves unagitated mind. We are able to keep ourselves, the unwanted desires that may come as a byproduct of, corollary of whatever desires. Once a desire comes in, it is a chain, it's never ending a chain. If you remember, we have seen, a few weeks before, it is from Manusmriti, no one has ever satisfied a desire and stopped it at that point of time. Once you satisfy a desire, it gives rise to geometrical proportion of so many other desires. So once you go after that, you will be only chasing, satisfying the desire, chasing your effort to chase satisfying the desire. It will never come to an end. That is why at the bud itself, once you know, where he is going to take you, and how it is going to take you off your path. That is where, we are trying to get this experience, knowledge, and whatever we have to do it. It's not that, you will have to altogether deny, whatever experience that comes to you. Experience you should have. You should not enjoy and get into the indulgence, the experience. So that means, it is a dispassion. Every time when you see you have a good experience, bad experience, Because it is not that always, you try to forget the bad experience and remember only the good experience. Because the bad experience have also taught us some lessons. It has prepared ourselves to be more cautious. Because supposing, if you have lost some money, in some venture, or we have lost, in some of our, maybe, we have lost an opportunity, by not getting into that, because that shows us, because by that, we have learned, we know how we can, prepare ourselves, not to miss an opportunity or not to fritter away, whatever comes in our way. And all. That's all, only to that extent. But once you take an interest and once you get into that, it takes away from you wherever you could have excelled. A lot of people, could not do whatever they wanted to because they have got, this everyday life, what it takes. That is only, taking them away from everything. That is why the 1.2.4, when they said Duramete, Viparite, Vishuchi, because it is the North Pole and South Pole, Duramete, because it is one end of it and another end of the world. But they come together. Avidya cha, avidya yacha vidyati jnataha. Once you know, this is going to give us experience, this is going to take us into sort of indulgent and all, because depending upon at that point of time, what is your priority? The discrimination enables you to decide your priority. But if you are, when something is priority is there, if you are trying to forgo that priority, because you had some interest in something which has come about, that is where, you are likely to encounter more difficulties. You will find, because you are not able to achieve what you want and you are not able to excel what you want. This is exactly what is happening. Because this is Duramete, Vipariti, Vishuchi, Avidya, Yacha, Vidyati, Vidyayeti, Nyata. So there are a lot of, the some stories are also being said in this context, though it is all sort of a story relevant to current period of time. One of the stories that's being talked about, because how Shreyas and prayers, because how prayers, takes us away and all. Once because we have seen somewhere Yogatshemam, we have seen one particular word, the second mantra we have seen. Because basically we try to earn, keep it for ourselves for the rainy day, because when we grow old and when we retirement and post-retirement, not only that, we want to keep it for our children, grandchildren. That is normal way of doing, because so that your family doesn't get, uprooted, in case of an eventuality. That's what, happens. We do that. But once you are doing that, because once you are totally, because you've got to know the other, you can do a lot of things, because after all, these wealth, what you are having, the what money you are having, whatever, the perception you are having, always could prove to be otherwise. Because, you could have afforded, because some good purposes, and that purposes come to you because they come to you because you deserve to do something for that and you got the God's grace so that you can participate in such a such a sort of a fine efforts and divine efforts in which you can share with whatever resources you have to some extent and all. But very often when you think, because now we have got a lot of doubts, whether the organization is good, whether the persons are reliable, whether it goes to the right thing, because a lot of things are, then certainly, you'll have to do the due diligence. But the very due diligence you are doing it, because once you become sort of a Caesar, suspecting everything, a Caesar is supposed to be suspecting everything and all, in a Shakespearean play like that, once you become, you are not able to do anything what you want to do. Basically what happens is once you are convinced, once you are knowing this and all, the intuition helps you to identify the right purpose for which you can share your resources or you can participate in the effort where you can do something good for you. That is what the intuition is needed, not only to avoid the bad thing, even to do a good thing. If you want to do a good thing, we know so many organizations are there, so many organizations are not using it properly, some of them are being used in them. But once you come across, once you have the intuition, there is no reason to hold you back. You should participate. One of the things that is being said about is, because the Yaksha Prashna, when it was asked to Yudhishthira was asked, what is the most surprising thing in the world? Because he said, everyone is thinking they are going to live forever. They are going on, immediately working on, how to cut the other person, how to sort of get themselves, elevated to the level, where they don't deserve. This is what is happening, because they just don't realize, because they can go off from this world anytime. That's what he tells Yaksha, and he gets through and all. The same time, when the Yaksha Prashna, when it is there, one of the things we'll have to understand is, because the entire, when we say, you can't reject the world in pursuit of the God realization, or trying to know your 99% of the divine energy you are made of, your divine potential, what you are capable of and all. You can't reject the world, as well as, when you are in the pursuit also, you should not simply be thinking, you only pursue, and the world should not be avoided at all. Either way, you will have to go with the both of them. You yearn like as if you are going to live forever, so that you will be excelling proper way, when you are doing it and all. Once you will be focusing, and you will not be drifting away and all. Even if you are in a stock market, you will have to work on that. You will have to make analysis of the stock. You will have to say which one is going up, which one is coming down. Or if you are investing also, you will have to see the whatever the investment potential is available and all. Or even if you are going to take care of, some of the properties and all, you should see, which one is to be kept, which one is not to be kept. All those things, you will have to see the time of the day, at that point of time, what it means, what is worth it, and you have to do all other things. But when you have to do finally in action, when you are focusing only on that, not with the thing, I will have to keep it forever, because I should not part with it. I should be, these things, should be only kept for these purposes. And likewise, you go on working only on that. So you will have to do everything so that you will have to earn as much as if you are going to live forever. But when the opportunity comes, when you are thinking, you will have to do something good, don't hold yourself back. You do as if, you are not going to be there tomorrow. This is what they are telling, because it's very difficult to do and all. But anyway, whatever little way we can participate in any effort, assuming, because there is a Vedic institution comes, you will have to contribute. Certainly, they are not going to fritter away, it will go to the right purpose. You do it, and some orphanage is there, you want to give it, give it like that and all. This is exactly, because when you are elevating yourself, you will be seeing the purposes for which you are not personally indulging in yourself in getting anything out of that. Because you are trying to see, you are seeing from a dispassionate view, whether the organization is good, whether it is going to happen. That is a dispassionate view. So all those type of good things will come to your mind when you are able to keep yourself away from the indulgence part of it, but experience part of it. दूरमेते विपरीति विशूच्य अविद्याया च विद्याति ज्ञाता विद्येयेति ज्ञातः विद्या विद्या अभिसिनं नाचिकेतसं मन्ये नात्वा कामा बहवो alonupantah. This is the only way, they say, because you have to be with the world. You will have to get the experience. Don't get the intelligence. This is the only way. Nanyapanda ainaya vidyate. When he said, this is the only way you can do it. It's not that by keeping away from the world, you can't do anything, or by only on the pursuit and not participating in the process of the world, you will not be able to achieve anything. So both are required. So therefore, because there's in this context only one small story, because that's being narrated. Of course, because that we will find the story very rudimentary and all. Because in those days, this is the example they have given to make this point understood and all. Because see, you have got a mind to do a lot of good things. All of us have, because the intention is there. But the execution is important, because that we are not getting the right time to execute ourselves. Because we find, because there are so many other things take away, because our time is being taken away by so many other commitments and all. So one beggar, he was having a dog. Beggar in the sense he was really not a beggar. Nowadays, if you see the beggar, they will have a lot of funds available, because they also have got their savings, because this is what you read in the newspapers and all. So he had enough, but he was having a dog. He was carrying the dog all along. So when he was saying it, suddenly he started, his dog became very sick and he started crying. And it happened during Janaka's time. It will come in some other Upanishad. When Yajnavakya and Maitreyi, they are having a discussion. It is something quoted there. So when that happened, because he is very much worried, because the dog is, it is very faithful. Unlike man, it has come along with him always. He has accompanied him. He has slept with him. The dog has slept with him whenever he has slept. Whenever he has starved, the dog has also starved, and all those things he was telling. Finally, when it was about to, because it is almost to give up the life, dog. was just wailing and weeping, crying, and all those things, making all the dramas and all that. So suddenly one person come and, why are you weeping? Because it is so faithful to me. It was with me. Do you think I will have to celebrate? I will have to cry only. So he said everything and all. Then he was carrying two bags. What are you having? Because see, it was starving. It was dying out of starvation. He had enough provision, enough food for the dog, but he was not sparing it. He said, why you are? It is your dog. It has been with you all through, but you have not done anything for that, and why to do it? He said, because it is crying and wailing is cheaper than sparing with whatever I am having. Yogatshema, what they say. It is a sort of extreme example. This is what thing, because whenever you see, we sympathize, because look, because this organization is doing. But once you are convinced they are doing, and when you are able to, when you think you have got the ability to participate, you can afford to participate. When you think like that, then you should try to sort of work on your intuition. If it is immediately apparent, so you should go for that. See, this is exactly, even a person in our own who needs some help, when you think, because you can do something and all, but I think, because you are not able to do, but only you give a soothing words all of us can give, that is costless, easier, like the beggar says and all. It is to bring bring ourselves out of the cocoon, bring also ourselves out of the, because we have prepared a firewall around us. To come out of that only, we need the intuition. That will come only when you give up, the indulgence part of the desires and all. Yogatshemam part of it. I need to tell, like the beggar, he didn't have, he could have given the dog the food and it could have lived for some more time and also. It is like that. So this is exactly, what is happening around the world. In fact, I was seeing a discussion, it's a very good discussion. If possible, I will share it with you, between the vegetarianism and the meat eating Western world and all. The discussion was so good. He was telling, because what is happening, because see, the meat produces, a lot of, you might have heard or anything like that, even the beef and all, when they cut it, it produces so much of methane, out of that. It is causing the climate change. It is not only that cruel to kill an animal, but it is like whales are being hunted and everything is, because nowadays climate change, a lot of agreements are being made, will not kill whale and all. Now they put a limit, not beyond that, because some people, it is a delicacy, like Japan, the whale meat is a delicacy there and all. They want to have that and all. In that process, what has happened? 1.19 million species have extinct. We are about 7.8 million now, as we have discussed last week and all. We have become 7.8 million. We were only growing at a sort of a same level till middle of the 18th century, and we have gone into geometric proportion to 7.8 million, from where below 2 billion in the beginning of the 20th century to now 7.8 billion. Whereas 1.9 billion species have left the world. So what they are talking about, meat is not necessary, because he says whatever grains that is produced in the world, in fact, as we were discussing, it is being taken by the Western world to feed all these animals which they want to take it, for their delicacy. And whereas the countries, who are trying to earn out of the grain exports to them, they have got their own poverty. They have got people, who are, they have got starvation. If you see Sudan today, North Sudan, today itself, there is a starvation deaths are possible. That's what, the UN says. When somebody in Kalindi, because in Odisha, because whatever reason, we may have, Kalindi was a region once it was suffering, even on and off, the news comes from there. It is happening, because as a society, when we have a responsibility, when we have all of us, because collectively the system, if it is there, we can afford and as well, save our own people, our own sort of a fellow man, any part of the world. That's what we can happen. This is exactly takes to that, because you don't take, you have, your necessities, you have everything, whatever you need, try to have, don't go with the greed. Because this is exactly, if everyone exercise, every one of us exercise, or every person in the world exercise, perhaps the world will be a far too better place, and there will not be so many agreements. Not even trade agreements are required, because the trade will flow automatically, because where the producers there, where the requirement is there, automatically it flow. Why need to need agreement? It is not there. It is basically some vested interests are there here and there that is taking place. I request, some mic is on, I believe, if you can just. So this is exactly, that has taken place in this context only, because when we have discussed one of the things, what we take, because while everything is good, because you have got a guru, you know what is avidya and vidya. And if you remember in Isavasha Upanishad, we need avidya and vidya, both are required. In the sense, avidya, in the sense, because wrong knowledge, once you know you are having a wrong knowledge, then only you will be able to correct it. If you don't know that you are having a wrong knowledge, you will not be able to correct it. Supposing if I don't understand the subject, I had a wrong, because solution for that. Only when a professor clarifies to me, I think, gentlemen, you look, what you are thinking is absolutely incorrect. It is not that. You will have to understand that. Then I will be able to correct. Only that way is a good. But Vidya is
Lakshmi,
just
கிளம்பிட்டு
take the Avidya out and
வந்துட்டாளா?
take it. Ah, acha, okay. I think Narayanan has joined. I think it's.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning, sir. I
Good
think.
morning. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
Some
yeah, correct.
slight.
Sorry. I think you can just keep the microphone. You can mute your microphone.
I am
Okay.
muted.
You mic.
Muted. Muted.
So when it you see when it is happening, this is where exactly the things happen. Why should once everyone is able to do, why this should not be happening? That's what they argue. Even the meat eating is not required at all. Animals can take care of themselves. What they are taking is a very little portion of the entire what the earth is offering. And in fact, if you see some of the arid regions like Uzbekistan, there is sea called Aral Sea. That is the only sea, it is a sort of a landlocked sea because it was some one point of time it was a big sea. Now it has dried up, it is the only source of water. They wonder, within another 40, 50 years, the source of water for entire Uzbekistan, it's a landlocked country, may vanish because it was having because its own aquifer was there, a lot of animals were there, a lot of forestry was there, everything has gone. In the pursuit of uranium mining, uranium was available in the when the Soviet Union was together, it was part of the Soviet Union earlier. So they were trying to get as much uranium as possible, it was available, and it was secretly done. The entire the mining was done. Once the mining is done, the land becomes useless, because no one rehabilitate the mine. So even now our mining laws have got a provision. Whenever you do a mining, you will have to rehabilitate the mine. You will have to fill it up. Wherever the water is there, if aquifers are there, you will have to keep it. If the water is contaminated, you will have to drain it out and put the water. Everything is there, but who does it? There is no, because it's all, we have got fantastic rules with us, but we don't have any implementation. No one need to implement. It's ourselves we will have to implement. If everyone is good, we don't need any law at all. We have got 1000, we had almost 1994 laws in this country. I think so far about 400 laws have been, because they have been annulled, because the balance laws are still there, some of them archaic. But why a law is needed? If a person does it, with the responsibility, the Upanishad wants you to bring that responsibility. So once that responsibility is understood and assimilated by every one of us, we don't need any laws at all, because that is how the world can live forever. Because you can be, even with the vegetarianism, the world can live, and the meat is going to, they say, over a period of time, the meat eating is going to add so much of a climatic change. Not only that, it is only the pharma industry is growing, in geometric proportions. The R&D is going on geometric proportion. The human beings are going to be afflicted with what they are having. In that process, lot of species are, it's not only 1.9 million. By the end of this 2050, more than 3 million species would have been extinct. We would have been almost been another 10 billion by then. But we will only be exploiting the world where it will not end there. There will be a chaos. Finally, the pralaya, whatever is there, that has to take place. But as of now, because we have postponed the entire thing to a future generation to face, but we have not taken the responsibility. The Upanishad affords you to take the responsibility. Upanishad sort of entices you to take the responsibility, induces you to take the responsibility. That is why in the Upanishad it is not then why you should not be. Is it not because one person can ask should I not enjoy the world and so many things are available, so many gadgets are available. So many sort of a food is available, so many varieties available. Should I not enjoy? You experience that, but don't go for enjoyment. See, if you really want to enjoy something, and if you really want to enjoy an ice cream or anything like that, when Swamiji was telling, the best way to enjoy is you just take 1 spoon per month. At least you will enjoy, because for 1 month, you will miss that. Or at least that 1 spoon will, it will just taste like, some sort of elixir. So if you take that, that is how because once you have got it, instead of 1 cup, I will have 4 cups. Then the entire, then you get deciding, oh, what is that? It becomes nonchalant. You don't have that sort of a. If you don't see a person for a few years, when you meet him after few years, your friend, after 5 6 years, and the amount of joy what you are having is different. But if you are everyday meeting and having the same gossip on same thing, the same thing, which is not going to add any value to that. So you will see it is a matter of thing. Every day we are meeting, what is so great about it. Likewise, the experience is like that, because once you are indulging into nonchalant thing, you are sure, sort of guarding yourself, getting other experiences which are awaiting to you, awaiting for you. Once you get that experience, you become a wholesome. Once you become a wholesome, you are able to sort of focus yourself on that, and you become totally intuitive in every action of yours. When the intuition comes, that is the highest knowledge, wisdom, moksha, whatever we can think of. That's why avidyam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira pandita manyamanaha. Because people may be talking about so many things, because they may be knowing, they were vastly knowledgeable. That's what we have said. But they will still be, they may be swayam dhira pandita manyamanaha. But what they will be talking is, they may be knowing, but they will be taking you to the other way, because they have got the intention to get into this world and enjoy and make you enjoy also. They don't want you to bring you out of your path and take you to the highest path, to stellar path, what is available to you. They make you to once again go down, because 1 step forward, 5 step backward. It's not 2 step backward. That's what happens. So that's why they warn in this Upanishad, Avidya Mantare, that's what we saw last week. Avidya Mantare Vartamanaha Swayam Dhira Pandita Manyamanaha. They are all showing like this and all. So this is what exactly, and Dantramya Manaha, and they will also give all sorts of things, because if astrologer is there, he will give you 100 different pariharas. You do this, that will be done, this will be done, and all. We all given because we want something better to happen. When everything is key is with you, you have given the key to the astrologer, and he tells you, he takes you everywhere and all. The Upanishad gives you the key. You don't have to be depending on anyone. If a person is capable of doing, why he has to come to you? He has come to you because you are a potential customer, that he has come to you because you will be giving the key to him. I will do it for you. Because, another thing is, it is basically the laziness that is built in. When we say Yapunti to Dushara Haratavalaya in that person, Yasveda Padmastana, because when you say, we request, take away all the lethargy, indolence of the mind, lethargy of the mind, so that, we are able to be active. We are able to be
இங்க
sort
வந்து
of
I-
something. We are able to use whatever
அவங்களோட
knowledge we
போடுவான்னு
have
நினைக்கிறேன்.
got that and go
அவ
about it, because that is what
ஒரு
that
நிமிஷத்துல இங்க
gives
வரணும்,
that.
அதனால வந்திருக்கேன்.
So Dandramyamanaha Pariyanti Mudaha Andena
அவங்க
Eva
அந்த தனியா
Niyamana Yada Andaha. Because blind man
தனியா இருக்கு.
teaches blind man. That is what we started last week. Here,
லட்சுமி அம்மா
one thing that is going to be sort of a very well same mantra has been taken up by Bhagavad Gita. It's a beautifully the same thing. The I think some mic is to be muted. In Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter 42 and 43, the beautiful mantra, they have given the same concept very nicely. Almost they have taken the concept line by line, because sentence by sentence. They said, Yam imam pushpitam vacham, because they will be flowery language. They will convince you so much. It has happened to him. That man was having this problem. I did that and all, because whether they say, they want to do this homam or you want to do this yajna, you do it. But when you do without expectation, you do it, because you have to get that and all. But when you do, by doing this is going to happen. And it may happen, it may not happen also. It depends upon how you act. See how you perform yourself, how you are able to bring the excellence in doing, executing certain things. It all depends upon that. The Upanishad focuses you to get the excellence without infantile inferiority, because you will be able to dexterous, you should be able to do everything so dexterously, no one can do that thing better than that. It takes you to that, because when you are able to get that skill, that is what the intuition brings you into that without you being aware of. Once you develop, because only by focusing on the thing and doing the thing, being mindful of what is happening now, not having any past tense nor future tense, because future also, think about it, is tense. So is the past. Without that, mindfully when you do it, you will be able to do it. When you are able to do it, you will not be carried away by all these people. Yeah, imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti viprachitaha, because they will all be giving all sort of a flowery language and take you out. Vedavata Rataha, they may be quoting from Vedas, Upanishad, and they will also think scriptures. This is what Gita says. Don't go in, don't give in, by people what they are saying. Finally, what their intention. The intention has to be so so sanctified, so your execution will also be so sanctified. It is a Solomon intention, it should be there. So will be your execution. That's what Parthaha Nanya Adastitihi Vadinaha. Because they will all tell everything kamat manaha swargapara janma karma palapradam, because they will all be looking for something out of that. Don't get into all these pariharas. If it happens, it is there. And basically you are not supposed to be having any belief other things other than improving yourself, working on yourself, changing yourself. The stuff will not help you. That's what Upanishad tells. The choice is yours. If you still feel if someone can help or something, you can attempt that, but then try to see for yourself whether it adds any value, whether it is taking you, whether it's able to change you in your thought, or whether you are able to change your focus, attitude and all. If it comes about, that is well and good. This is not people who are sunk in the ignorance, Majjanti, because we have seen Majjanti, the Vedaha in this world, once you are dead, you will not be able to come out of that. So once you are having, and if you still, because why they are repeatedly telling in the first few mantras, giving the Nachiketa's example, how he has kept himself steadfast without falling into any of these things. This is, he has given example not only for this whole mankind, therefore, even though it is going to be very difficult, it's not going to be
What is
easy,
going
but this is the path one can still take. This is what it says. And if you see the mantra 1.2.6, this is where the mantra, because we will be seeing today, it is a vision, what we are going to have. What is the vision? Whether we are going to have a false vision or it is a true vision. The vision what you are having by seeing someone else's achievement, someone has done this and all, they will all be false vision. Because we are not bothered about, because we have got our own capability, we have got our own sort of key result areas to us and key strength areas each one of us are having. What are all the key strength? KSA, what is KRA, we know that. Once you realize these are all the things, you will have to go within that and how to improve your key strength areas. This Upanishad says, because you sort of exacerbate and you enhance your strength in all the areas, so that your results, your key results areas are focused and they come far to. You cannot achieve so many things, you can't have so many key result areas. I will have to be a sort of the excel in your profession, as well as I will have to excel in my sports, and I will have to be a good man in my everything, because you can be everything good as long as you don't go by others' view on that. When you are measuring yourself, you are trying to measure the metrics of others. You have your own metrics. You change yourself. You be true to yourself. You don't have to be true to anyone else. This is what exactly the Upanishad says. This mantra says, so great a mantra in this, it is that of the first Valli, the first portion of the second Valli. This is the mantra finally culminates into whatever has been talked so far. Now, Samparayaha, it is in your page number 42. 1.2.6 is the mantra. Na samparayaha pratipati balam prabhadyantam vittamohena mudam. Na samparayaha. Samparayaha is that, because the what you are trying to get, the best out of you, the sampradaya, which is called moksha or whatever it is there. Because after dispassionately, when you are able to focus yourself and to focus on your experience and be mindful without worried about the past and or dreaming about the future, and you are able to give the best at the present moment, when you are able to do with the focus and on whatever you are doing. When you whatever you are doing, you are trying to work on how dexterously you will be able to do without any infantile inferiority. That is excellence. Every small thing when you do, it is bound to be excellent, and it will take you everywhere and all. You will be known by what you are doing. Even if you are folding a pen and you will take the pen, write it, and then close it and keep it in that. It's a small thing. But once you develop, that particular attitude and habit, it takes you to that, because that is, because I used to remember in those days, my father and my grandfather and all, they used to have a lot of inland letters and cards every day, because if they receive a card or inland letter, immediately they will write a reply immediately. Even if it is in WhatsApp, where you can, without wasting a minute, you can give a reply on very important things. But we, all unimportant things, we will be giving the reply, we will be forwarding to so many others, we will forget the important ones. But in those days, without anything, they will immediately write a letter, because once it comes, they will write a letter and see that it is being posted. And see, ensure and tell us, they will ask 5 times whether you have posted the right box, and because there used to be 2-3 boxes, one for the local post and one for the outstation posts. All those things, they will ensure that it is, and even the card, they will acknowledge whatever it is. Even card was a great measure of communication, very effective measure of communication. Whatever they wanted to take, very briefly they could write it and give it. And we have lost all that precision. We have all the comprehensions we have lost. What we have called is misapprehension. If WhatsApp comes, because then we forward it, whether we did it or not, we don't understand, we give this and that and all. The information, what is that WhatsApp information or WhatsApp message has contributed to every day and all, other than enable us to spend our time. Enable us to, because when you are feeling bored and when you are able to do anything else, has it added anything and all? But there are certain good WhatsApps have come, because likewise, what I have seen today on the meat eating or vegetarian, because there was a very good talk was there, and I will forward it, beautifully talked by a gentleman. So that he brings out the problem, very contextually he brings it. So many good things are also there. So how you are able to discriminate, which one and which is not that and all. Otherwise, because we will be doing a matter of fact, we will be losing everything and all. This is what na sampradaya pratibhati balam. Pratibhati balam, in the sense, he says, you are a child. You might have grown up, but you are not grown up. You are still in LKG or pre-KG. You are not come up to the level. Pratibhati balam, what is coming out of you is the childishness. You might have grown physically, you might have aged, but the childishness is still there. And the next verse, pramadyantam vittamohena mudam. Pramadyantam is a very word. It takes you out in religion. It is a sort of you are just being inadvertently, you are indulging into this word. Pramadyantam. That is the word. The context in which Shankara Bhagavad has beautifully used in Viveka Chudamani, same word he has used. This has been used by Madhvacharya also in very many occasions. It is like, without, since by habit, you have been, you just get into inadvertence. You vitta mohena modam, because in the sense, everything that gives you something of some sort of a transactional advantage, something in which you are going to gain, vitta mohena, whether you are going to have some financial advantage in that, whether you have got a personal advantage in that, or you have got a contextual advantage in that, whether it is going to help you in things. Vitta mohena, madam, you are more working on that. If there are 5 persons are there, you may be working to talk to only one person, because ये काम का आदमी है. इससे बात करने से कुछ होगा, because बाकी सब बेकार है, because we call it in Tamil inchi pachari, useless. There is no point in talking to him, because he is of no use to him, not to us. Because unless he is of use, we won't go and talk to him and all. That is exactly pramadyantam vittamohena modam. Because you have got any transactional advantage, financial advantage, or anything like that, and you are being enamored of this entire thing, because if you are having, because the latest model car, which is available with you, you are parking it in your parking lot, You will be someone people think, look, he has got the new one, which has been released only day before yesterday. Because if you are going to be taken in by all these prayers, by this, that this vitta muhena mudam pramadyantam, because it inverted inadvertence. When you say inadvertence, it says consciously you have to take the effort not to indulge. It is not that, because everyone is not a sadhu or saint by birth. We will have to work on that. We will have to take specific effort to change ourselves. So because we have got experience with us, we have got enough tools to change. But are we using the tools? Once you use the tools, then in the intuition automatically comes. You will not be able to get anything but that intuition, right intuition at the right time. To be at the right time, right place, whatever has happened to all of us is by our own intuition. It is not by, we have not deliberately taken the effort. So many things, because we happen to be at that point of time, we have taken the right course at that point of time. We have changed maybe we have changed our job, because at that point of time, rightly, it might have happened, because you see, it's all the dilemma. When you are at the crossroads, whatever is helping you to take the decision, that is intuition. But in the world, we are every day we are in the crossroad. We don't realize that. That is what it's pramadyantam. Vitta mohena moda. Today, because you may be having some important, occasion or something to be listening or something to be discussed. But you see, because today only, because the movie is going to be there only for a few days, today only, you got the ticket and you will have to go there and all. Okay, you go and experience that. But then, don't leave out, whatever you have planned for. Don't do it at the cost of it. Because if you think something, you will have to meet an important person to know something about it, because nowadays so many changes are there in software. What you are having today is irrelevant tomorrow. The new changes are taking place. So the new, not only new program, because the new subsystems are coming out. So nowadays, it's not a one person can't write a program and all. There are so many systems. You will have to, the system assembling, the concatenating, what they call the concatenating, assembling so many systems, working into perfection. That is what nowadays the job is. No longer coding and all is there, because people are doing it. It's not you are not going to do it. We have been coded and sent in this world. But then, we will have to assemble our own systems by our experience. So that is what, the Upanishad says, and we will have to do that and all. Likewise, because suppose, there are so many things, these software fellows are always under pressure to know this and that, new things have come, Python has come, that has come, this has come and all. They will have to continually do, because if something is there, you have got something else. I will go for the match to see or this one, and you will be wasting your time. Whereas you have got an opportunity, you can't miss that opportunity. Opportunity is never missed. When you miss it, someone else takes. That's all. The who is deserving takes. Who has got the grace of the God, he takes. It's not that we missed and all. Missing is, because I have not been trained to get that opportunity, to take that opportunity, to elevate myself, to get the right intuition at the right point of time. So this is what I am lokan, because once it happens inadvertently when you do, I am loke nasti pariti mani, because there is nothing other than this world. There is nothing other than this world, is nothing other than this body, and what body could see, experience, entertain, and all. As we have seen, we are made of, because in this quantum energy, the beings, all beings, whether human beings, animal, all of us are bundle of energy, bundle of forces. 99.9% of our energy. Our energy is being displayed by the thought. Continuous generation of a thought is the sort of a proof of our energy. So how you are managing the energy is the problem. That is how we have come into this. If you are dissipating the energy into all those things, in taking care of your worldly comforts in the worldly ways, pramadyantam, as they have said, then what happens? You always continue to have unfulfilled desires. You are not able to get across, because your prarabdha karma, it's continued to be there. You will have to, prarabdha karma has to be exhausted in this birth. You will have to experience good, bad, or and whatever it is, you will have to be. But you will not be able to go beyond that. What Yama says is, Punah Punaha, last, I am loke nasti parayiti mani. If you think like that, Punah Punaha Vashyam apadyate me. Every time they come back to me, because you have got unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled ambitions. Your prarabdha karma, you are somehow managed to, but still you add some more agami karma. Your sanchayita karma, little intact. It is there. Whatever you have been sent in this world to nullify it, you have not used that opportunity. It is literally speaking. Otherwise, you are not able to use your 99.9% energy productively, and you have dissipated the energy. You are a bundle of energy. You are a divine energy. You are a Solomon energy. When you say soul, the soul energy is something much beyond. You can move the world, because people have moved the world by simply Socrates, was a sculptor, but he moved the entire world. Maybe he paid the price, by leaving the body, but he has left himself, the whole lot of knowledge. The one stream of philosophy which is parallel to ours is coming only from Greece. His disciple, Plato and Aristotle and all, they took it, and even Pythagoras, and he's basically a philosopher. We know Pythagoras theorem as a mathematical theorem is all philosophers are mathematicians once. Mathematics and philosophy has got so inextricably interlinked, because the mathematical analysis comes to them because the mind clarity is there. Bertrand Russell was also a mathematician because Principia Mathematica is written, and he has also written the world history of philosophy also. So likewise, it was like that. Descartes, the one who propounded the major philosophy of the Western world, he was also a mathematician and come philosopher. Likewise, it's not incidental because it happens like that, because when you mathematically try to do and try to analyze, try to find what it is, the curiosity is there. The curiosity creation is mathematics. Mathematics is not simply, to write in some paper and get the money. It is a curiosity. Anything that creates curiosity is the mathematics. Even one unsolved problem, in Vienna, there is a one great mathematician whose sort of a symmetry is there. There, they have everywhere, the symmetry, they born this day, died this day, and some words, some quotes will be there. In his symmetry, there is one problem. The problem is yet to be solved. All the mathematicians of the world go and visit that symmetry in Vienna. Vienna is a small place. It's not, because we happen to go there and we see, because there are lanes and bylanes are there. Somewhere, because it's not a tourist attraction, it is an attraction for mathematicians. They go and visit that symmetry and see that problem, trying to solve the problem. And you would be surprised, till today, no one has solved the problem. Maybe, someone like Nash, we come and because he may solve the problem, because it's, of course, it's going to take place. So that is where, how it takes, it is they are not, because they are going after a big thing, because when the philosophy has come, because they have brought the great ideas. He has not, because Socrates has not wept even once for losing his body or giving up his body. And he stood like that. And the first thing, sort of the first lesson that you will be, anyone will be taught, if they are going for a Western philosophy, is the Republic by Plato. Because Socrates himself has not written anything. It's all, his disciples who wrote that. It is like that, it has happened. Once you take that, you leave that big ideas, the idea lives, your personality lives, what you are, because that gets propagated. People look into and try to think. Like the symmetry where he has left, is the last question, till to be answered. The people flock there and see, because that is there. The body has gone, what does that mean? It is 0.01%, but 99.9% energy and the thought has taken so many people. That's why even Nobel laureates go and visit there and still trying to solve out that problem. So this is one example I just said, like that, so many things. All our acharyas have given us so much of thoughts. Upanishad they have given. It is not that Upanishad you can't read in your leisure time. Yeah, it is for you to change yourself, to elevate yourself, to use your 99 point, your energy, and you are a bundle of the divine potential to get your full potential, to elevate yourself to the extent which you can't imagine yourself with the body, mind, and intellect. That is what they have done, and they have given this so much of scriptures. In that process only, you should not be taken in by, because people who are trying to take, there are other ways around, because a lot of Swamijis sprouting around. They give you too many solutions, and so many astrologers, they come with a variety of sort of pariharas, because the planet movement will take place. Planet, whether you like it or not. Of course, we also know the astrologers are also telling that the Saturn is moving 2.5 years. it will be, spending, each each of the rasis, 2.5 years, you have got 7.5, 7.5 is the period, this and that, they will go on telling. Nothing will affect you. Once you know the potential of your energy, once you know the divine soul, you are given the God given grace with you, and your energy is to take you elsewhere. And this body is anyway, when you have to get the highest, the body has to go anytime. Let it go. Why I should be bothered about it? But then, through the body only, you will be able to experience the world. Experience the world. Don't get indulgence into that. This is exactly, because even great, the masters, because Manikya Vasagar, he has written, because in this Thiruvasagam, Vendin, Pugal Vendin, Mannum Minnum Vendin, Pirapurapa Sivam Vendar, Namainalam, Tindin. Sendu Senden, Manda Tirupurandurai, Unden, Purambohen, Ini Purambohel, Voten. This is a Tamil song. He says, doesn't want, you don't give me anything. I don't get any, I don't want any great wealth. I don't want anything. I need anything. He says, I have just got highest divine energy. I am able to realize that. Why should I be going for all the inferior things? This is what he has said. This is where, because we are all doing that. But when you are doing inadvertently, we may be doing, committing something. We are correcting ourselves. The correcting ourselves, elevating ourselves is the purpose of life. It is the endless thing that has to happen. In fact, because if you do, because the Ratha Saptami, it will be coming in the February, month of February. When you do take a bath, we are all supposed to be doing one, because we have to take Sankalpam is supposed to be the mantra which we are supposed to recite when taking the bath. Yada Janma Kritam Papam Maya Janmasu Janmasu, because whatever I have done, whatever, because I have failed to elevate, because Papa means the fail to elevate. So Tanme Ragancha Shogancha Ma Karihantu Saptame, because you try now, you give me an opportunity to correct myself and elevate myself. Let me not have Rogancha Shokancha, because give me a better body, so experience this world and do it. This is the purpose of it. In Ratha Saptami, we are used to have, that Erke and all, we are supposed to be doing that. On that, this is supposed to be the mantra we are supposed to be reciting and all. So because likewise, something may happen inadvertently, but you can correct yourself. To correct yourself, you'll have to take a deliberate efforts. So that you'll have to identify where I am going wrong. It will not be inadvertence. Inadvertence, and you will not be able to consciously point out here I am going wrong and all. By experience, once you know this experience is going beyond means, I just should take, and I'm having diabetes, I should take only one jalebi, not go for the second. That is, experience, and come back. I can take it, maybe later of 15 days. And if I think, it is good, today this man has given and only this cook can do that, I will have to take half a dozen now. It is now for me. I am not able to do that. And because then Rogancha, whatever we are singing. Tanme Rogancha Shokancha Ma Karihantu Saptami. Because that's what we are telling on that day. Yata Janma Kritam Papam Yacha Janma Mantara Ajjitam. Because this is what I have been praying for every Janma after Janma. Manovak Yocham Vacha Krantak, because that you give me the jnana through Manovak, I am able to do. Because that's what we Prayachitam when we do Sandhya Vandana. That's what we do everything and all. The same mantra is being recited here. It is a continuous process. Inadvertently, we may be getting into the path of indulgence. It needs a deliberate effort to come back to the highest Samparaya. It is because Samparaya, Samaparaya, because where Ayanaha, that is the highest level which we can reach. The highest level we can realize all our 99.9% of the divine energy we are made of. And the 0.01% of this body certainly is required. You cannot sort of neglect that. You have to take care of that. So without roga, that's what it says. Without anything you should have. At the same time, you experience the world, get yourself elevated. Once this is done, this is what Shreyas prayers he has said. He has given the Nachiketa the highest certificate what is possible as a sort of a specimen, so as a sort of a role model for every human being, everyone in the mankind can follow. He has brought it, so that he becomes some sort of a representative. He becomes the guru. When you do anything, you think of his, in the infant age of 7, how you could steadfastly stick on. Same way it is something. This is what they have said so far. And basically, what they have told in sum and substance is you will have to be in this world, experience the world. You cannot neglect the world as well. You will have to go about it. Whatever will be happening through your inadvertence, you will not be able to consciously point out. You will have to take effort to identify which is good for you, which is not bad for you. It is not only the commandments that will be coming about you. You will have to find your own way, track your own path, go about it. This is what they have said. The next week onwards, it is the Guru and Sishya. Who is a Guru and who is a Sishya? How Guru Sishya is essential in getting this knowledge. So that you will be running wild otherwise without knowing what it is. Otherwise you will go mad and whatever may happen. How you can be regulated and given the knowledge by a guru after knowing all your SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities and threat. That's what we will see from the next week. Today I will conclude with this, and we will be going for a meditation as we have planned for that Swasti Suktam with northern intonation. Last week we had the southern intonation, particularly of Tamil Nadu intonation, which is going to give the most auspiciousness as well as the all the without any trouble you have a happy tidings all through. That's what will happen. This week we will be having the northern intonation. I will conclude today's proceedings with this. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi, Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just a minute, I will take the